Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. Welcome to another episode of the Community Live Stream. My name is Chuck Tomasi from ServiceNow. I am the ServiceNow guy with the red bow tie, verifying that all the streaming and whatnot technology is up and running. And give me just a second to check that out because I was given a little bit of an error on the screen. Looks like it's been resolved. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you for joining me. This is the show where I take you through the community right behind me, and we go through it completely unscripted. This is Friday, April 20th, 18. And we have probably about 14, 15, 16 days till Knowledge. It's not long now. Knowledge 18 is coming up, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Thank you for joining me again. I'm going to go through and not only provide you with answers, but give you insights as to how I got to those answers so that you can take those techniques and apply them to your daily jobs. If you are an admin, a developer, whatever it is, our community is for all aspects of ServiceNow. My specialty happens to be in custom applications, integrations, and the platform in general. So those are the types of questions and issues I will gravitate towards. So please don't feel offended if I'm skipping over questions. If you've got a comment and you want to say hi, you want to tell me what the weather is in your area, I'd love to hear from you. Give me a shout out in the chat room. We do this on YouTube every weekday. Let me make myself smaller so I'm not in the way of that title. There we go. We do this on YouTube every weekday, Monday through Friday, or at least the weekdays where I can A, get out of bed, B, I'm not on a business trip, or C, have something personal interfere with that. Those are the three criteria. And this happens to be one of those days where the stars align, and I am happy to be here to share with you whatever it comes into my head, what comes on the community, and how we get there. So good morning to you. Good afternoon. I don't know. This is a global thing. I don't know when you're watching, but I'm glad you are. And I hope you get something out of it and find it valuable and share this information with others. We also do this simulcast on Twitch, so if you're watching over there, thank you very much for watching that. Just noticing that we've got a couple of people over there. We got a few on, excuse me, a few on YouTube that this is done raw. There's no editing. I have no idea what's going to come up. So, thank you for joining us on Twitch. We will also be using our developer site, which you can go and get a free personal developer instance and also read up on the APIs that are available in our scripting language. They're all documented over there, as well as free learning paths. So I said free instance, free learning paths. You can learn a lot for zero cost. And I encourage you to do so. That personal developer instance could also be used for a sandbox for your organization. There's also information about meetups. We will be having another meetup next Thursday in the Phoenix area. Look forward to seeing you there. This is sort of a non-topic. About once a year, we just get together at a pub and share ideas and find out what people want to talk about so we can have topics available for the Q3, Q4, whenever we do this. So thank you very much to Mike Stockman, who is our meetup organizer, for taking care of that. Also want to let you know that if you do have a question about ServiceNow, please post it in the community. Be sure to use the right subforum when you do that. If you've got an issue with your personal developer instance, put it in the instance help section. That's exactly what it's there for. That's what the link on the developer community says. If you've got a question about performance analytics, make sure it goes in the reporting and performance analytics section. If you've got a question or comment about the community in general, yes, there's even a meta group about the community called member feedback. So I encourage you to post those in the appropriate place. That way the right people see them and you don't get the, it's not buried or lost. If you post it in the comments on YouTube, I'm going to avoid answering it because it's not searchable. No one's going to find it, and the only people will get an answer is you, and that's not the benefit of the community. The benefit of the community is, of course, that we all learn, we all share, we all help. And that's the important part, and that's what I'm here to do with you today. So let's get started on that. I am going to start out my favorite way, and that is to go into the news section. Let's see what's unreplied. I always like to go after unreplied. Permanent links on knowledge articles in Service Portal. We really need a service portal. space, even though this is in IT service management and it's about knowledge and it's about service portal. It really is crazy. Looks like our audience is growing a little bit. Love to hear from you. Sturdivant. Hope I said that right. Did I? E-A-A-N-T. Okay. Give me a clue if I'm even close. Good morning. First to chime in on the chat. How to remove author name of knowledge article for a particular knowledge base. We seem to be on a knowledge base kick this morning. Knowledge is not my area of expertise. You know what? I could potentially take a look. There might be something in there that we can help with. I will take a look at that, and I will take a look at that. Onboarding and offboarding, that is a process. Actually, that's in the, there are user group forums in here. So if you are part of a SNUG, a ServiceNow user group, whether it's in New York or Chicago or Sydney, subscribe to that space and you will get notifications when there are new postings. There may be job listings in that area that people put in there. Good morning, Steve from Sweden. I do have a comment that you had sent me. Thank you very much. And you're good. I'm close enough on that pronunciation. Good morning, Katya. An outsider would think it funny to hear you saying that knowledge is not your strong suit. I mean the knowledge application. There are applications within there. Knowledge, the conference, I have a blast. It's funny because I kind of think of knowledge conference that's coming up as a bit like Christmas. It has that same excitement that builds all year round, and then it finally gets here. And I get to the end of the week, and I am just spent. It is so much energy, so much time commitment, so much fun. I get to the end, and it's like the post-holiday hangover. I said, oh, I'm never doing that again. And then about a month later, the excitement starts to build again. It's about this time of the year that I think, hey, stupid, don't you remember what you said last year at the end of knowledge? I say, yeah, I remember, but it's just too much fun. It's a great time. Did I see the follow-up on that topic? No, I haven't seen the follow-up that I put up there probably 20, 30 minutes ago, but I will look. I do have a link to that, Steve, and we will get to that in just a bit. I have my morning tea, something new in an unmarked bag. Tastes pretty good. I think it's some kind of spiced chai or something different this morning. Alrighty. Let's keep looking. How to custom SC cart on Service Portal. A lot of the Service Portal questions, I don't want to say this in general, excuse me. A lot of the Service Portal questions can be resolved with, it's going to come down to writing custom widgets, taking some of the out-of-the-box widgets and making them your own. Generate task based on a specific variable date. Let's take a look at that. Sounds like a workflow question. Live chat phone queue integration. How to send image file in image field of image library table using REST API. Wow. Let's take a look. It has REST API, and I thought there was an attachment. You just got to get the table name right. Display subcategory in blocks in Service Portal. Again, we need a Service Portal forum. Oh my gosh. How to work, because that one's in developer community. How to work with process classification script. ITOM. ServiceNow outbound REST CSRF token-based authentication. Oh, CSR, token-based authentication. I'm going to take a look. I've been doing some dabbling with different authentication, see what we can come up with on that. How to get custom attachment fields in Service Portal. Custom attachment fields. Interesting. We don't have a thing as attachment field, but if it's Service Portal, you're likely to be able to do anything you want. Approver can't see attachment in Service Portal. Again, wow, it's like 50% Service Portal questions this morning. Might have to invest in some more Service Portal knowledge after I'm done investing in my IoT knowledge. Duplicate vulnerability items. How to send ServiceNow a report to a file in different system. Now, that's an interesting one. That's an integration question, but it is in performance and analytics. I mean, performance analytics and reporting. Wow. Delegate options. new Now platform licensing. I can guarantee you this is going to be my standard answer of talk to your account team. I need a macro for that. We have a big problem now in the Now forum and our business apps, or Create Now, Runtime, or whatever you want to name it. It turns out that our Kingston release, you have to license scoped apps not by fulfiller users, but by the users of the scoped app. For example, it's not specific to Kingston. That licensing was changed a while ago. For example, I have a client who wants to put a small application of vehicle management that would be managed by about 5 people, but which they could request via service portal all the users of the company, about 1,550. So now my client would have to acquire 1,505 app licenses, which is completely unaffordable. I think that this should change scoped apps as much. Correct me if I'm wrong. Un saludo, Pablo. All right, Pablo, I am going to give you my standard. Okay. Mentioning it in the community is fine. I don't know what he expects to accomplish by that other than maybe getting people on board to say, yeah, down with the man. Okay. Pablo, thank you for the information. Now let's try dictation this morning. Let's see what happens. Wait for it. The best place to voice this would be with your account team, period. Licensing is really what they do. Stop. Okay. I'm going to leave that last part off. Please work with them. If you have questions, concerns, negotiations, etc. There we go. One down. That was a little easy. Okay, ServiceNow Outbound REST CSRF. I have a REST API which provides CSRF-based authentication. User needs to provide the CSRF token in the header and it returns the response. Below is my API endpoint and request headers from Postman. Postman. So they're going sky.cloud.example.com v2 profiles org equals sky. Accept JSON, CRSF token, The issue is I can invoke the API through Postman, but when I try through ServiceNow background script, I get the below error. Below is my script. So he's got the endpoint is the same. Profiles, get, set query parameter org sky. And below is the output method, sysscripts extended logging. That doesn't even make sense. Okay, so request header, accept, request header token, execute. My question is, ServiceNow support authentication where we can pass CSRF token in the request header with authentication as no auth? If yes, there's something wrong with my script. And I'm looking at the script and I don't see anything that jumps out at me. Other than we have an inconsistency of using single quotes and double quotes, but that's a style guide thing. I'm not going to crucify anybody over that. Let's see. You don't need to do the parser thing anymore. There are built-in data types as of Helsinki. We're using ECMAScript 5. You can just do json.parse on the response body. But I don't see anything that would stop him from doing that. Is there a public site we can test this on? I don't want to steal your token. Hopefully that's not a valid token. You could always try. I don't think there is. It's example.com. I have to guess. I just want to try it. Let's see what happens. I think that's a bogus URL, but maybe we can play around with this. No, it's not. Okay. It's just sitting there spinning and spinning and spinning. I don't see anything wrong with the code. But I don't know enough to answer the question about can we pass a CRSF token with the header when the authentication is no auth. That one's not jumping out at me. And I know somebody who could take a look at that, but he's not in the community as much anymore due to a new role within ServiceNow. Dang. Morning, Chuck. Chad from Atlanta. Do you know if more sessions will be added to those that are full, like 475, creating your first ServiceNow application? Chad, I just found out this morning that we are in the process of adding the repeat sessions because I went to look for my IoT lab yesterday and could not find it. And Jason McKee, who is in charge of the scheduling, said it's delisted right now so that we can find out when the slots are to put in the repeats. And I got a message back this morning from another team member and said it is being repeated. So repeats are being queued up. My advice to you, I was going to save this for the part where I talk about knowledge, but if you see a session is full, check back. I would check back every 24 hours at a minimum and keep looking for that session. It will have the same session ID based on what I saw in this email this morning. So you're getting news that's just hours old. My session CCW 0345 is on Tuesday and again on Thursday. So look for those repeat sessions, and best of luck to you. So that's what we really wanted to see, is which sessions are filling up fast so that we can offer those repeats. We purposely left some blank spots in the calendar, and now it's a matter of shuffling the pieces around. And that's an art form in and of itself. I'm not sure why I have an inbox way over. Oh, the inbox is way over here because I opened up tabs and they pushed over there. Okay. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. TGIF. Put that on your shoes. Toes go in first. There are some duplicates already. Yep. Thank you, Steve. When using Knowledge Management Advanced plugin in Kingston, articles are published in the service portal with a unique URL for each version published. For example, you might have service portal ID equals KB article and sysid equals sysid changes accordingly. My question is, how can I, for one article, let's say article A, link to another article B without having to update the URL in article A each time article B gets updated to a new version? I'm aware that this can be done with the admin portal. If it's generating a new record, it's going to have a new sysid. However, I thought, and I'm going to check this, knowledge. I may actually have some knowledge. That's not what I was looking for. Knowledge, articles, all. I thought if you looked at them this way that the permalink was not the sysid, it was actually the number. So let's take this one on Llama Nutrition from Llamapedia. There's a story behind that. You can actually download the Llama app from the share portal. Somebody asked me, would this make a good demo? And I think this actually may be demoed at Knowledge. You'll have to keep your eye out for it. So we've got Llamapedia, and if I view the article, I thought the permalink at the bottom was by copy permalink. Let's see. Wait for it to finish loading. There we go. Copied to clipboard. Let's find out what shows up in my happy text editor. Hey, look, it's code from yesterday. Sysperm article. Okay, so this should be, if I create a new version, I don't know what they're using for version management in Knowledge. Again, this is where my Knowledge information gets a little thin. But if it's the same number and a different sysid, I would think that it should work. So let me go down here and, not that one. I do want to go back to view article. I'm going to give them a have you tried this? I don't think this is, I don't know if this is a solution, but it's more of a have you tried this? Take a little screenshot and put that in there. It's Friday, so it must be happy hour somewhere. What was this person's name? I didn't even look. Ingobrit. I'm just going to start out with hello. If I'm not sure about this one, but here's something to try. Look at the article. Look at Article B. Article B from within the standard UI, and click the go to knowledge all. Is that what it was? I can never remember the menu thing. Sometimes you click on these things. It's like driving home from work. You don't really know, you don't think about where you're going and what street you're turning on after you've done it 1.5 million times. It just, knowledge articles all. Knowledge articles all. Open the article, click the related link, labeled, view article, spell labeled right, view article, and at the bottom, you should have another link called copy permalink. This one uses a reference by article number. Example. Twink. Oops. That's not the example I wanted. But it is the screenshot I wanted. If you copy that, let's see, this is based on the assumption, dictate time. This is based on the assumption that the number of the article does not change, even though the sysid does between versions, period. I don't know if that's the case. Please try and let me know. Put a comma in there. And that is... Whoops. Wrong sound effect. I missed just by that much. Tiny little buttons on this soundboard. Almost got the prices right when you lose. How to remove the author name of a knowledge article. See, it helps to open up things even if they're not in your area of expertise. You might just be able to help by exploring. Good morning, Felipe. Good to see you again. Good morning, Chad. Let's see. We have multiple knowledge We have multiple knowledge bases in our instance. We need to remove author name from the articles related to one particular knowledge base. Is it possible? Let's go into the knowledge base options and take a look. Again, not my area, but let's go take a look. They want to know about knowledge bases. So under knowledge administration, knowledge bases, that's where they're listed. We're out in uncharted waters today. Let's take a look at Llamapedia. And they want to know if they can, what was the question? Remove the author name? Because when they're viewing it, we have the owner. Interesting. Do we have set default knowledge field values? And they just want to do that on one knowledge base. Enable social, disable commenting, disable suggesting. Let's see what other fields are on there. View knowledge base, view knowledge articles. Because if you view the knowledge base, and we'll take a look at Llamapedia again, just because it's a fun thing. I had to migrate these by hand from the app when I imported it. The app, I think, was made in Dublin, and it was Knowledge v2, so it did not come up this way. Maybe I should post a new version back to share. The knowledge author. Where's the knowledge author? Let's go down to the bottom. I'm waiting. Let's scroll. Authored by system administrator. Last modified 4 weeks ago. And this is done by the kbview.do. So let's go back into knowledge bases. I suspect we're going to have to make some modifications to kbview.do, which modifying UI pages is probably not in the best interest of anybody. But let's look if we have additional fields that we're not seeing. That's always my next one. Maybe there's a field that we just don't see. Let's configure list layout. Because if it says disable something, you might say disable the author. Active, approval description, card color, created, data policy, disable category editing, disable commenting, disable suggesting, enable social Q&A, manager's mandatory field, owner, publish workflow, question annotation, not seeing anything related to hiding the author. So no, there is nothing out of the box. It would require a modification to kbview.do. If you're a brave soul and you think this is a must-have UI pages, let me make sure that that is an editable UI page first. And we go to, here's another case where I typed in UI page and it didn't really do a good job of filtering. I guess UI pages is under there. If I knock that out with the X and type it again, it will work much better. I don't know what's up with that. I've seen that, I think, since Jakarta. And I noticed somebody did that on a video and went, hey, well, that's nice. So now I just got used to it. Didn't work, try again. A bit like when I upload code to my IoT device. It says, I can't find the COM port. It's like, well, try again. Oh, there it is. I changed nothing. I didn't change any software or hardware configuration. Let's just try again. Technology is a wonderful thing when it works. KBView, or anything that starts with KBView. We have KBView in the global app. Yeah. Darn, my nose is itchy today. So how to remove the author name. I have a response here. I don't see a way to do this out of box. It would require some customization. That being said, make sure the person making this requirement understands the true cost of doing of their request. It includes not only implementation cost, which is high because you need to modify the jelly code on a UI page, but also the ongoing cost of testing and possible remediation in future releases. If you are not willing to undertake this yourself, oh, and don't forget, once you modify the UI page, kbview.do, or kbview, you will not receive upgrades to that page. You own it. We're not going to overwrite it. And if you're not willing to take this yourself, then I recommend an enhancement request. Ding. Let's put a line in there too. There. Good morning to everyone. Wow, I think this is for a Friday too. This is a record audience for live viewers. Thank you very much for watching. I am impressed and encouraged. Word must be getting out. So thank you very much for joining us. Hey, let me know where you're from. Some of the people in here are regulars. We know just about how to send them a Christmas card. They've been online so much. Others are less frequent, but some of you may be watching this for the first time. This is the community live stream where I go through the community and find what I can find and help where I can help and get you into the thought process, not just what the answer is, but how I got to that answer. What tools did I use and how the exploration went. Morning from, oh, we got Austin, Texas. We've got New Jersey. How's the weather in New Jersey? I thought there was a storm hitting the East Coast again. I have a friend who lives in Massachusetts, and he was on the edge of his seat a couple of nights ago. I know that big storm came through the Midwest, and it's probably blasting through there now. Spring is coming, eventually. Spring is coming. Stick with it, or you can do what I do and just move to Phoenix. Generate a task based on a specific variable date. I want to know if it's possible to generate a task based on the date of a variable. If it is not feasible or there are many risks, could offer some solution. Has this been answered yet, or am I still in the... I thought these have live updates on them. Kevin's online. Some of these people I recognize. Hey, another good resource you might want to tap into is the Slack channel sndevs.slack.com. Since Kevin is reminding me of that. You can go there and a lot of people hang out. You can start a conversation. There's different channels within there for knowledge, for general, for random, for meetup organizers, just different. It's kind of like this. I'm not as sold on Slack as a system of record. But if you just have a quick question you want to throw out there and get some feedback, and it's a little more immediate, based on, of course, who's online and where you are and all that good stuff, might be helpful. I'll put that up on the screen. So it's https sndevs.slack.com. Very popular and a very powerful third party. It's somebody termed it as the community that's not on the community. Whatever that means. And they do have a point system if you're interested in that. If somebody does a plus for you. I don't have nearly the credentials over there. I join when I can, which isn't as often as I'd like. But great group of people. I will lurk quite a bit. And if there's an @ mention, I am on Slack more often than I used to be. So have fun over there as well. But in terms of supported community, this is the one that I subscribe to. Let's see. So I have a catalog item that has a variable that is a date field. The way that I want this workflow to work is customer submits the form, all approvals go through, then an email goes to the customer letting them know that access has been granted. Once all tasks have been completed, I want the workflow to stop and wait, but not close the request item because the variable that is a date field, I want a task to generate when that date has been reached. Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Timer activity. If timer activities can use variables, I should check that. Yeah, that's easy, maybe. Let's go to the workflow editor real quick. I am in the global space. Let's bring up the workflow editor. I could either use the one under orchestration or workflow. I know you can do this with fields. I don't know if you can do this with variables, so let's find out. First, I should probably see if I have a catalog item that has a variable. But, forge ahead. Let's make a new workflow. I'm not feeling very imaginative this morning, so let's just call it timer test. We can be proper case about that. We'll put that on the requested item table. A workflow with this name already exists because I'm not feeling very imaginative. Then you know what we're going to do. Timer test 2. That's awesome. Hey kids, scrub your personal developer instance periodically to avoid things like that. Let's put that on the... And here comes the waste management people to empty the garbage. Oh, and I don't have a window open, thank goodness. That's why it's so warm in here. Requested item. Where is it? Task definition. There. Let's put it on the requested item. Good enough for me. And I will take a, wait for it to finish loading while we take a drink. I did put in a request for a new machine for this video, for the big old slow iMac. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get lucky. Core. It's under timer. Let's put a timer activity out there. Timer activities are fun. I didn't really use them a whole lot until about a year ago. I was preparing a demo for Knowledge 17 and said, that's exactly what I need. That's exactly what I need, because it just sits there and goes tick tock, tick tock. Oh, time's up, move on. And you can set the timer based on, we could do it based on a script, a time or duration field. That's what we want, but it's going by field here, and that would not be a variable. So what I would need to do is use a script, which comes up here. Set answer to the number of seconds after this should wait, which means you would need to convert that to seconds, and then, yeah, you could do that. You could do that. It's going to take a little bit of effort, but you could do that. It can be done. Timer activity in the workflow. In fact, just for helpfulness, let's also put in timer activity, a link to the docs. Use multiple timer workflow activity. Thank you, sanitation engineer, for taking care of my waste management and recycling needs. We appreciate you, because without you, chaos would rule and the world would be a much smellier and unsanitary place. I am willing to put up with a few minutes of noise, which you probably aren't hearing because I have a gate on this microphone, which says if the noise isn't quite high enough, I'm not going to even turn on the microphone or open that input. Okay, this can be done with timer workflow. In the case of variables, you will need to set the timer based on a script. Just calculate the number of seconds to wait. Now, I think, just to be a little more helpful, let's go to the developer portal and look up glide system, not system, glide duration. I think that returns the difference in time in seconds, or is it glide? Maybe it is glide duration, but I think that returns its get. I don't think there's a number of seconds in here. Come on, finish loading. It's not going to do it for me. This scrolls, but that doesn't. Nice. Glide system. Let's look for gs.diff, date diff. Oh, come on. You're not even trying, search. I know the answer better than you do. There we go. Rolling. Go. A lot of fun today. And you can get it to return the number of seconds. There we go. That will help. So let's send them a nice link to that. You can do this with the gs.dateDiff function to determine how many seconds between now and the date you have in the variable. Put that up. Make a link again. It's taking a while to answer. Apologize. But good research on this one. Timer activities, very functional, very helpful. Real quick review on those. Where's my workflow? You can either, like I said, your workflow will advance to that state and then sit there and wait. And you can say, wait 2 days, wait 2 weeks, wait 2 minutes. You can put that in as a user-specified duration. You can also do a relative duration. You can do one of my favorites and use the value out of a field and say, hey, go get the, and it only puts up date field set, the actual end time. So if I'm running an event, let's say, and it starts on Tuesday at 6 p.m. and ends Tuesday at 8 p.m., that 8 p.m., this timer activity will advance. And I could wait the full duration till 8 p.m., or I could wait a percentage of that duration. Maybe I wait only 75%, or maybe I wait just 10 minutes before or 10 minutes after. So I can hit targets on or near that actual date. Very, very powerful feature. And of course, as we noted before, we can also set this based on script. Wait 3 days, or wait whatever the distance between today and that date field is, which would be the same as the field. But in her case, she has a variable. And since I can't pick variables from the date field picker, I would then use a script to calculate that. Not terribly complex, should be a one-liner, answer equals gs.dateDiff, whatever it is. The timer activities, if you haven't played around with them, consider them for calendar-based events, change management. My use case for the example app that we built last year at Knowledge 17 was sort of a meetup.com app on ServiceNow. And before the event started, like one day before, it would say, don't forget, this meetup is happening tomorrow night, or tomorrow, or 24 hours from now. And at the time of the event start, it would change the state from pending to live or in progress, whatever the state was. And then at the end, it would change the event to follow-up or something of that nature, and send out emails that, so it would run for a while, and then it would wait, and then it would run for a while, and then it would wait, and then it would run for a while and wait. And for that use case, it was perfect. I never had to go, oh, that event was over 2 days ago. I should really update the state. Or have a scheduled job that's going, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? That's very inefficient, because your scheduled job would have to run effectively every minute. Or maybe you're a little nicer to your system and you run it every 15 minutes. Well, then you could be 15 minutes out of sync. And if the meeting was only 30 minutes, that's not very good if you change the state 15 minutes late. So there is a space, a use case for timer activities. And again, it's one of those things that's been around a very long time. I just never really had a recognition of the application for it. All right, we still have a few more of these to go through, but I do want to remind you that Knowledge is coming up. What did I say? We're about 15, 16 days away. I need that actual counter. I think it was 18 a couple of days ago. So I happen to be very time specific, and I have 16 days and change in terms of hours left until Knowledge. And that is the Monday start. If you're going to pre-con training, we do offer 2 days of training in a wide variety of subjects, Sunday and Monday. So get those in. If you're not signed up already, you better hurry up, because sessions are filling up and Knowledge is filling up, but there's still time to get in. As we mentioned earlier in the show, some of these sessions are being repeated because they're already full. They filled up very quickly. Go to knowledge.servicenow.com. There is a scheduler. There is a login. And remember, if you haven't checked the checkbox for CreatorCon, check that checkbox so that you're entitled to go to that content as well. We will be having the Developer Theater. We'll be having Tech Now Live in the Developer Theater. We'll be having all kinds of workshops and breakout sessions in that are more technically specific for administrators, developers, architects, that sort of audience. Knowledge in general is still very wonderful, wonderful content, but you're going to be doing, when it comes to things like Service Portal, you'll be doing the drag and drop, which is nice. If you want to learn how to make Service Portal widgets or Service Portal widgets talk to each other, that's CreatorCon. So think about what your topics are and look at the agenda. And if you see anything that starts with CC, CCGT, CCW, CCB, those are going to be CreatorCon things that you will need to check that checkbox for. Next Thursday, we also have Tech Now. If you haven't already received a registration for that, go to our Tech Now episode list on the, I know that's, we're done talking about knowledge. You've heard all that before. Go to the community Tech Now episode list. Just search for Tech Now episode list, and it will come up. And go down to episode 49. There is a register button there. I should probably make it big and red so it stands out. But REST API Explorer is our topic of discussion. Not that one. We already talked about the REST APIs. We even did scripted REST APIs long time ago in Geneva. But down here on episode 49, you can go to the Register Now page. We will be doing a live event next Thursday. Dave Slusher, Craig Stepp, and me. And we will be doing our Tech Now stuff that away so that you can get all the information out of REST API Explorer. And there are some things, as long as this has been around, I think it was Fuji or Geneva, that there are some things that I even learned when Dave was going through his practice session yesterday. And I also have a tip for you about scripting at the top of that show. So it's going to be a very wonderful session about the REST API Explorer. I have a few things in the inbox, but before I get that, I'm afraid I'm going to run out of time. I don't want to get sidetracked with that. We did have a discussion going on last night. Steve was kind enough to let me go in and alert me to this discussion going on. Somebody said, hey, I was running a background script that was doing a query on sysuser using GlideAggregate, and suddenly my form layouts were crazy. I said, that doesn't make sense. You can see from the script, they did a GlideAggregate. They were doing adding a query, albeit there's a typo in the query that somebody pointed out. And I'm not sure why you would do a GA get row count. That just tells you how many counts you got because it's grouped together by count. But anyway, they've got an add aggregate. It would be how many employee numbers. Anyway, I go down here, and those two are not related. And the general consensus was, yeah, GlideAggregate's not going to muck with your forms. And they said, but look, I've got all these delete records in the log. All this stuff was deleted. And my thought was, strange coincidence? Did you go into system deleted records? The system definition deleted records to see how those were deleted. Steve was kind enough to put this in here. And somebody said, oh, here's the actual query. What else do we have? Can you even use deleteMultiple in GlideAggregate? My understanding is yes. I'd have to check because GlideAggregate is an extension of GlideRecord. I know you can use many of the methods. I don't know if that one's included. Bit confused, elaborate on the above statement. I said, as the others have noted, it sounds like a strange coincidence. Check the deleted records and see if you can find any evidence of who did this. There's more to this. What am I missing, Steve? Help me understand. What part of the thread? Because I'm getting lost in the multi-threaded part. Here's the actual query. GlideAggregate sysuser. They did an active true. First of all, when you're doing active and booleans, don't quote the true. Doesn't need to be true. Logged out true. Boolean. This is a string. If you put quotes around it, it's looking for active being a string value. So we could put that in there if we want. They're going to find email that it contains Gmail, group it by count on employee number. That's interesting. I would have to have multiple accounts. And then group it by employee number. What is the... And then they're doing a GA delete multiple. I missed out the delete multiple function in my earlier post. And Steve says, can you even do a delete multiple? We could try on a personal developer instance. This would be easy enough to experiment with. Since we're playing around anyway, there's my... Oop, I need to get back to my instance. I think I have a dummy table somewhere. Let's go to tables. Let's try something out. Let's try something out. Let's go to system definition tables. Let's look for whatever was updated latest, because I remember doing this recently. UTimer. Sounds like a good table to me. Just to put some records in and maybe we can destroy them. So let's go to UTimer.list. You guys playing around with duration fields or something. Yep. This is an idea I had for actually something that may make it to Knowledge 19. I'm thinking ahead, kids. Let's put in here 1. Again, not feeling imaginative. 2. Insert and stay. 3. Insert and stay. That ought to be good enough. Then we'll go to system definition script background and say var. Let's write this over here. Hopefully this text editor will keep up. Var UTimer equals new GlideAggregate UTimer. Let's put in a ut.count, add aggregate count and ut.query. We should just get a straight up count of what this is. If ut.next gs.info, we'll print out an info message that says, let's get the count first. Here's a little trick I like to do. Put in a -1. Then you can find out if your count did not work. So by saying count equals ut.getAggregate count, it will have a 0 or greater value. But if it has a -1, you know it didn't get to that part. gs.info count records read. I just want to make sure that it works first before I do any deleting. Records read. All right, quick little script to count some records. I know what you're saying to yourself. I could have done that in one SQL statement. Paste. Yeah, but then it wouldn't be as cool. 4 records read, which is what I would expect. Now, for the magic sauce, I don't know why I keep bringing up the terminal window. Let's put in, come on, cursor. Wow, that was crazy. I couldn't get rid of my select all. Let's do ut.deleteMultiple. I don't need any records in that table, and if this thing blows up, I'm fine. So you want to know if deleteMultiple is available in GlideAggregate. Paste that in. I should have my new line there. There it is. And for records read, let's go to utimer.list. And we have, oh, the suspense kills me. No records. So the answer is yes, deleteMultiple is available in GlideAggregate. It's going to delete records on that table. Question is, are they going to show up in deleted records? Can I retrieve them? What has been deleted most recently? Ooh, they don't show up here. Because I guess if you delete them from script, they're gone. Or it's not an audited table. I'm not sure which is correct in that case. So yeah, that could be a bad thing. Let me check mail on that. Steve is indicating there's mail. There's more to this. Apparently he missed part of the script, and that is GA deleteMultiple. Note the deleteMultiple colleague of mine did the same thing in our test environment with the same result. Coincide or not. We had a bunch of duplicates in user, then sysuser table due to a failure while testing some stuff. This is why we have test and dev. We now have the same issue in our test instance. This is no biggie. I'll just reload it. So it deleted the users or deleted forms? I'm not sure what got deleted. Okay, so you replicated the problem. It messed with forms? Is that what I'm seeing? Or did it mess with the... What exactly is the side effect or the bad side effect of what is happening here? That's what I'm curious about. If I go to my timers, let's go to new, and my form looks fine on the table that I was messing with. So I'm not sure exactly what the issue is that is killing this. I wouldn't recommend using deleteMultiple with GlideAggregate. That's deleted users and it messed with the forms. It messed with the user form? I mean, I deleted records in my table and it didn't, I'm unable to reproduce it. That's part of my problem, but I'm not going to go after the users table at the moment. I will try to do this on a separate instance. I don't want to mess with my personal developer instance to that degree yet. I'll send you some screenshots. Okay, perfect. I'll take a look at that. So let's look at that offline, and that's going to take me to about the top of the hour. There was one other in here that I did want to get to. I'm not going to do these coding examples again today because I didn't do the code offline. I'll try to get that this weekend and forward that to you on Monday, get that information to you. I did put a question yesterday in the member feedback saying, is it time for a service portal forum? And it seems that there is an overwhelming yes. It's been upvoted now 23 times with 10 replies all saying, hey, great idea. Let's do this. We'll see. I haven't seen a response back from anyone on the community team, like Dan or Tim or anybody else. But we'll see what happens there. So thank you very much for the glowing endorsements yesterday. Looks like most of these are from yesterday, stating that this is a good idea. I always appreciate when I have one a day. I try to have one good idea a day. And then Monday, let's see if we can get back to these. I will write the code offline and then we can review it and see what happens. Somebody's looking for a way to spot duplicates with the same number. There's a thread about that. And another person is saying, I've got an incident created over here and I want to get it over there. And I've got some issues with that. And they need a little script to kind of clean things up. So based on that, that takes us to the top of the hour. Let's see if there's just one more. Oh, I never hit this. I never hit reply. Somebody replied in front of me. Look at that. Yep. Mike got it 20 minutes ago. I think I was writing this 20 minutes ago. That's what happens in the community. Sometimes you're typing on the same thing. I like that one. His is very helpful. Use a timer activity based on the script, and it even gives the script. Current.variables.end.getDisplayValue. Again, be careful when using getValue and displayValue. One is applying a time zone when it says displayValue, and one is not. Now, if you have now date time, I believe I don't like using now date time anymore because A, it's not available in scoped applications, and B, I think it applies the time zone, but I'm not sure exactly when. And the true, of course, says start date, end date, numeric value is a Boolean. So that's what he sets the true for. So let's get rid of that. I should really learn to hit reply so I can ring the bell. Okay, I am going to bypass this last one on integrations. All we got was the new questions and a few replies. Quick look at the inbox. Well, it's top of the hour. I'm going to have to do my inbox offline. So apologize, ran out of time. Thank you very much for joining us. Good discussion today. Have a wonderful weekend. Be sure to share something if you learn it. So learn, share, be helpful, and the world is a much better place. Until Monday, which I very much hope to see you again, take care. Have a great day. Great weekend.